Put Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. Thank you so much for joining us. We are talking today about setting things up in our lives to be the most productive that we can be without having to work harder. You know how I always talk about working smarter and growing our businesses in a smarter way? I always mention the 5 pillars of Grow Smarter, which are certainly ask, certainly make sure that whatever is going on is in alignment, making sure that thing 3, we're all in and the people that we're collaborating with are all in, making sure that everybody's working in their brilliance. So everybody's assignment is appropriate. And then thing 5 is making sure that we're taking advantage of the applications and the resources that are available to us. So guess what? Today we have a super special guest who knows all about using resources, applications, things that are perhaps, we probably think about them as things that we have to learn one more thing. But sometimes when we learn this one more thing, when we learn how to use this app or learn how to use this productivity tool, it can actually save us a whole lot of energy in the future. And Julia is an expert as far as that goes. And so I want to welcome Julia to come talk to us about how to grow our businesses smarter using productivity tools. Welcome, Julia. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Can you share with everybody who you are and what it is that you're doing in the world?
Oh my goodness. My name is Giulia Gambale. I am founder of She's So Social, an online communications company that's 12 years old right now. I'm also a partner in Agents of Branding, where I help small businesses give them a big voice. And at the moment, I am the entrepreneur in residence at the New Haven Free Public Library. And I also work with knowmpreneurs out of the Known co-working space. So I've been working a lot in the entrepreneur space and helping startups, helping business owners. And one of the things that really has been coming up is finding the time to get everything done. So this was something where we were noticing with all of our entrepreneurs and also with our business owners, including myself. I like to check in with myself and kind of say, I own a business, obviously to make money, to help people, to serve. But it's also so I can do things in my personal life. I have a little bit more freedom. I'm my boss, right? Everybody says when I own a business, I'm my own boss. If I'm an entrepreneur, I'm the one who sets my goals and the pace of my day. So I was noticing for me that I was kind of checking in with myself. And one of the things was, am I doing busy work or am I being productive, right? We see as, in our careers, and we're talking about, well, I'm so busy. And what if we flipped that and said, I'm so productive. Today was a very productive day for me. And how do we do that? And at any point in our lives. So I came up with a colleague of mine. We had sat down for a couple of hours and had a discussion as what does being productive look like? Before we even talk about the applications, what does that even look like for any of us? Are we saying that we're being productive just for the sake of saying it? The terminology that we're using, busy versus productive, things that are important versus things that are urgent, right? Not everything every day should have a sense of urgency. We should be able to take a step back and to breathe. We can do things that are important and not have a sense of urgency every single day. So for me, that's what being productive means. And So the first thing we had come up with was, what does a productive mindset look like? And I do this with my marketing as well. Putting yourself in a mindset that you are going to accomplish this goal.
So I want to welcome everybody who's watching with us over in Facebook. And I want to invite you to just drop a comment, say hi to us in the chat. And if you do, you will actually be entered to win a prize from Giulia at the end. So do be sure to drop a comment. I love what you're saying, Giulia, about being busy versus being productive. And one of my favorite mentors likes to say that we really, really don't want to be busy. Actually, being busy is the enemy of productivity. And I find that that is 100% true. One of the things that we like to teach in the Grow Smarter system is we like to teach that, you know what, you want to make sure that you have a lot of support, whether it is support personnel or support through productivity programs that are available, productivity apps, that sort of thing. And if you can find a way to be actually doing less, you actually free up time for creativity. So tell
Yep.
us, Giulia, what are
Creativity.
some of the do's and don'ts that you would suggest for somebody who's looking at their time schedule and trying to be more productive?
Yeah.
What are some of the do's and don'ts that you suggest?
I can give you a very quick don't. Don't wake up whatever time in the morning and immediately reach for your phone to look through your emails. Right?
Guilty.
Guilty.
We've
You
all
know,
done it, Giulia, but we really shouldn't. That's such a
but
great
we really,
reminder.
yeah, get up. I know what I try to do is when I wake up, my wake up schedule is to kind of like stretch, meditate. I have a dog now, so I take care of my dog. Like very first thing is like just getting up and taking your dog outside, or feeding your cat, or just doing something that's not reaching for the phone. Um, the easy way to do that is not to bring your phone to your bedroom with you at night. Again, this is something that we're told all the time. I feel like, I'm repeating something that maybe many people have said, but having a set beginning and a set end really makes you think about what your day is going to be. Another I do, so I'm going to balance that with a do, and I would say do walk away from the computer when you are thinking through a problem. So if you're writing something, if you're researching, if you're thinking about what a process may be for your business, get up and take a walk around. I find that a lot of my answers kind of come when I take a walk around the block. A lot of times what I'll do for meetings with people is I'll ask them, do you want to have a walk and talk? Do you want to get up off the desk? Or when I'm on the phone, it's funny, in my co-working space, I have an office here, and I will walk around and then go up the stairs and then walk around that floor and then go down the stairs and walk around that floor as I'm talking. One of the things that it does is it keeps me away, again, from my computer if I don't need to take notes, or I'll walk over to a board or and start writing things down on a board. So sometimes your listening happens when your body is doing something else that's different. So understanding, when you're talking about the productivity mindset, understanding what your body and your mind wants to do in order to create, in order to innovate, in order to solve problems.
Those are
So
some really, really good reminders. There's always value to moving our bodies, to be honest. And I won't turn my camera around, but I actually have flip chart pages on my wall, and I'll get up and I'll write on the flip charts and,
Yeah.
get those juices flowing so that the creativity can come through, because we might not think of ourselves as creatives per se, but if you're an entrepreneur, if you are in your own business, if you are a small business owner, trust me,
Mhm.
honey, you've got to
You
be
are.
creative,
Yeah.
whether you consider yourself a creative or not. And just moving your body really does make a difference. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. Any other words of wisdom that you have for us for switching from that busy mindset to the productivity mindset?
Yeah. So oftentimes when I talk to people about productivity and I, I had done a PowerPoint basically about how do you start with the mindset before you even think about the apps, right? And so this is again something that usually happens. People will ask, what is an app that I should use for X, right? What should I use for marketing? What should I use for productivity? What should I do with whatever? And there, it's really a simple 3-step process. Um, and it's just prioritize, declutter, and standardize. Those
Say
are the
that
3
again.
things. It's
Prioritize.
prioritize, declutter, and standardize.
Okay.
So when you're prioritizing, you're thinking about what constitutes important and what is the thing that you're constantly calling urgent, right? Because urgent is not prioritization. Urgent is when you get past the point and you're in the oh no mode. Um, Prioritizing also is thinking about what is your balance, what is it that you want and need as far as your personal work balance, your fur babies, your time to spend on yourself. And then thinking about how early you work in the morning. And a lot of people will say, well, I go to work at 9. But what do you do at 6:30, at 7:30, at 8 to get yourself to that point? And then how late do you work, right? One more hour past 5, one more hour past 7. I'll work right up until the time I have to go to bed. These are things that they're telling your mind and your body, this is not being productive. This is just continuing to do something because you feel like you need to get it done and you might be stuck with something.
So, confession
Decluttering,
time.
yeah,
Let me just confess. Last night I was in the office until way late. Why was this? Because I was rewriting the copy for the Ladies Power Lunch website. And I just want to say this is not typical for me. Typically, I'm out of the
yeah,
office in a reasonable time. But when I looked at the clock last night, I was like, what? Am I the last person here? Is my car the last car that's out there?
yeah, and a lot, right?
And I started to think, what? And I wasn't done. And I was like, what? Let me put this aside, me go home to my family, and we can pick this up again tomorrow, which I did. So all is well. But I just felt like I needed to confess.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, and the thing is, it's like I will talk about this and then I'll catch myself like getting back into these bad habits, so to speak, right? I'm going to skip to what I usually do is the last one because I think this is really important. And I don't want to run out of time. And it's creating a standard operations procedures or standardizing what it is you do. And what that does is it lets you catch yourself, right? When you were saying, oh my gosh, I'm the last one in the office, it lets you catch yourself and say, wait a minute, this is not usually how I work. What am I doing differently that is putting me in a situation where I have to be here, at 10 o'clock at night, the last car, in the lot, that sort of thing. So you take your priorities and you build them out step by step. And then you commit to follow them. As this is happening, you notate any disruptions and problems that will inevitably distract you from following these processes. Then you modify A to accommodate B. So there's going to be times, there's always times where it's just like, again, you'll get an urgent thing, something that you have to do. Oh my goodness, I want to revise my website. So I know I have to write copy. But that's not something that you're going to be doing next month and the next month and the next month, hopefully, or the next week, next week, next week.
Hope not.
Hope not, right? So how do you make sure that that's not a constant disruption, right? That it's not part of your standard operating procedure. So those three things, so I'm going to go to the third thing now, which is decluttering, right? Now that you've prioritized what's important to you, you have your way of doing it, your standard operating procedure. What are the things that keep pulling at you and distracting you? So you declutter, declutter your mind, declutter your space. There's times, again, I'm looking at my desk right now and I have food on my desk and I have papers over here and it's Friday and I'm like, you know what, Monday morning, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to have a panic attack if this stuff is not taken off my desk. So decluttering your desk, cleaning out your inbox, organizing your physical space, your online space, and your own personal space, so that way you just feel lighter. All of that weight and stress is removed. So this is just the mindset part of it. Then it's like, what are the things that are going to make it easier? And you had mentioned earlier, oh my goodness, we're going to have to learn a new platform or a new application that's supposedly going to help us, but we're going to have to take the time to learn it. So oftentimes I'll help people kind of work through what are the productivity tools that you're going to need. And the first thing to do is just to kind of segment them and see what areas you really need help in, right? So there's time management, there's financial, there's file management, project and task management, communication and collaboration, and then marketing and sales. So each of these little areas just kind of chip off what you're looking at as far as what you're looking for as far as productivity tools. And sometimes, like in the case of time management or calendars, many people will say, you know what, online calendar, fine, but what happens is when I have an online calendar, I am getting dinged with notifications. My next scheduled appointment is here. My next scheduled appointment is here. And what I really want to do is have something in writing, something that I can write down in a calendar and I can take a look at. I can look at my day. I can train my mind to think about, like, okay, at 8:30, on Mondays, I always have this. At 4 o'clock on Tuesdays, I always have this. And it kind of takes away that distraction. First, some people need the distraction. I'm the one that needs to have the ding. But some people don't want to have that notification. They just want to be able to remember, okay, my brain is trained that. Now I'm going to go into doing this. So what is it that you want your mind to think about? Other productivity tools can be very, very simple to as far as task management to very complex. So the thing that you want to think about is, one thing for sure with any kind of tools is ask for help, right? That's one of the pillars, right? Ask for help. When these platforms are selling these tools, tell them to do a demo for you and have a list of needs. I need this platform to do these things for me. Will your platform do that? Will it be simple? What is the learning curve usually for that? That
That's a
takes the
really, really
stress.
great reminder. And, I just want to put in a plug here for Shannon Daniels and In Captive, because we asked Shannon to have In Captive do things that were not on the original demo. And you have to ask. And she was like, oh, that's just a matter of changing this one small toggle button and you have this functionality. now we can do so much more with the platform.
Right.
And all it took was asking that one
Was
question.
asking.
So,
And you know what? Yeah.
absolutely.
And what that did for her, right, is she had feedback. So she was able to make that product better. And now that this is a wonderful selling point as well. And it's just really interesting because and like if a company doesn't have with a platform doesn't have built in that you can ask questions and that you will be answered or that you can make suggestions. I have this one platform that I utilize for doing my social media implementation, and I've had it for years. And one of the reasons why I've had it for years is because I go into the help section and I say, hey, you know what? Um, when you guys going to be able to integrate with Instagram so that I can just post directly from the platform instead of going over to Instagram? And they would tell me what the timeline is. They would actually, I got to the point where there were, many other clients as well, where they would contact us maybe once a quarter and say, hey, how's that platform working for you? Is there anything that you're finding lacking? How do you use it? Is it, and I could tell them what I needed. So making sure that you vocalize exactly what you need, and if platforms are selling to you, make them work for it. It's okay.
You know what it is this: when we have our customers, we value that feedback. We want to know what's working for you, what's not
Yeah.
working for you, how can we improve our service. And we need to remember that the platforms that we're using, they're just like us. They're in
Hmm.
business to serve their customers, and they want to make it better for their
Yeah,
customers. So I
exactly.
think asking is, it's always going to be the number one thing. Time waits on no one. And of course, Julia, you and I, we could sit here and talk all day about this idea of using productivity tools. But I think it's always great to leave them asking for a little bit more. So let's give people an opportunity to reach out to you to get more information about how they can be more productive in their businesses. How can people reach out to you, Julia?
I have dropped in my LinkedIn. So I'm on LinkedIn under Giulia Gambale. I am also on Facebook at Digital Media Sync. And I can also be reached via Calendly on my Agents of Branding, www.agentsofbranding.com/follow up.
Awesome. And today is Free Gift Friday, and we would be remiss if we didn't give away a free gift. So I want to invite you to just choose a number between 1 and 20, and let's pick a winner.
Okay. How about 7?
And our winner today is Dina D. She was watching along with us over on our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. And
Hey.
can you tell Dina D what she is winning today?
So, what you are winning is actually I did is the presentation and the step-by-step guide as to how to have a productivity mindset, as well as what kind of platforms in each of the 6 categories will actually work to help you have a productive day.
This is a really valuable gift because there's so many platforms out there and everyone looks amazing, but they're not every platform's going to be right for what you're doing. So having
Yeah,
this ability to choose, especially for the different categories, it's just amazing. And I invite everybody to reach out to Julia. If you weren't the winner today, that's okay because we're all winners and we all have an opportunity to connect with Julia because she is a valued member of our Ladies Power Lunch group.
thank
And
you.
you can reach her at socialmaven@agentsofbranding.com. So just send her an email and say, hey, I have this question. Remember, the number one thing that we always have to do is just ask. because you never know, you might get amazing answers. Guys, I want to make one thing clear before we go. We are right up on the end of the year, and so this is going to be our last episode of Ladies Power Lunch show for the year, and we'll be starting again right in January on a Friday, just the same way that we always have. So I want to wish everybody happy holidays, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope you enjoy it as much as possible. Take some time for yourself. Be sure that you're enjoying some downtime, that you're paying attention to your self care during this time, that you're paying attention to managing your energy during this time. And I'll see you guys all back bright eyed and bushy tailed in January. We will be, come January, connecting through our Encaptive platform for all our events. So make sure that you hop on over there and set up your profile so that we can all be together in our wonderful new home Encaptive. Julia,
Yay,
it's been an amazing pleasure talking to you. I know for sure we're going to have you right back on the show to
that'd
talk
be
about
awesome.
this topic some more. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
wonderful rest of
you.
the day, and I'll see you guys in the new year. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.